I'm Liz Swenson.
And I'm Shauna Lander.
Welcome to Surviving Baby.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, Shauna.
Hello, listeners. Welcome back.
Hello.
We are on episode 9.
Oh, my goodness.
Episode 9 out of 10.
Whew.
We are 90% through
Crazy.
our season here.
And today's going to be kind of a party because we're talking about sex.
Oh, yes.
And relationship.
Oh, yes. Specifically postpartum sex and relationship. Because having that baby does some stuff to that sex life and that relationship.
I don't think I've really ever talked to any of my friends about, like, how'd it go?
It's not really something that you talk to a whole lot of people about.
So this is going to be like a really interesting, randomly intimate conversation. My mother-in-law's so sweet and she's so supportive and she's like, "Wait, how do I listen to your podcast?" I'm always like, you don't have to.
She'll click off of this one. She'll go, no, that's not for me.
Yeah, Wendy, this is when you need to stop listening. Bye, Wendy. I love you.
You ready to get into it?
I'm ready. Here we go.
Well, let's just start with a couple questions.
Okay.
So how would you describe your relationship with your husband before baby?
We were perfect. We were newlyweds.
Aww.
It had been a hard year because I kept thinking I was pregnant because I kept not getting my period forever.
Right.
So that had been rough.
That is rough.
And then I had my miscarriage and that was really rough.
That's rough too, especially in that first year of marriage.
But then, yeah, I think I've said this many times. I hit the absolute lotto with my husband. He's just a rad, cool human. I feel like we just meet each other with what we bring to the table. And for all my awesomeness, he's equally as awesome. And we always just have like a lot of fun together.
That's exactly what you want. Like you want a cool human who is cool in their own right, but then somebody who is also, coupled, like partnered up with you. Like, this is my lady and we're going to do this life thing together. It's exactly what you want.
We definitely have each other's backs.
That is awesome. I think that I hit the lottery in the very same way.
Yes.
John and I got together when we were 21.
Babes.
So we've been together for a long time.
Babes, wait. So that's like 4 years, right? Because you're 25, right?
Thank you for that. But to be together so young and then to grow up together, essentially. Like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so we really grew up through our 20s and into our 30s and getting married and having babies. There has been a whole lot of personal growth on each of our parts. Mm-hmm. And to grow sort of in the same trajectory with somebody.
So magical.
Yeah, it's
so magical.
It's a dream. I mean, it's not without, communication.
Yeah.
And making sure we're on the same page and intentionally staying on that same trajectory. But my God, I feel so lucky and so blessed. And he is such a cool human.
Me too. I just feel so freaking lucky. Sorry. We're just
bragging on our
so
husbands.
happy. We are. They're both pretty rad.
Yeah. So all of that being said, baby comes and baby alters things. Baby alters everything because life realigns. So when you had your first, what changed basically?
I remember being really conscious of the fact that we had such a healthy, active sex life before baby that I really in my mind wanted to keep that going. That was a thing I thought about. And so probably jumped back in the saddle a little bit sooner
than
I was probably ready for.
Why do you think that was?
I think honestly it was just I knew how much I loved that part of our relationship, and so I really didn't want to lose it.
So it was sort of like a fear of losing that? And
yeah, a little bit. I mean, it wasn't an intense thing, but it was just kind of a back of my... I was thinking God, it was so great. I don't want, having a baby to change that.
Right.
And so, yeah, definitely, I don't remember what the rule is, but we broke it.
Liz!
Yeah.
You broke the rule?
It's
6 weeks.
The 6-week rule.
6 weeks, nothing in there.
We did. I remember I went to my doctor's appointment. He was
no.
so you haven't had sex? And I was like, I'm like, Liz.
So your doctor shamed you?
My doctor shamed me.
That's good because you're not supposed to let anything up there, Liz.
No, I know you could get an infection. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just feel like I was a little too focused on maintaining the sex life.
Were you able to maintain it?
We're really good.
Wow.
The baby sleeps so much in the beginning, and it honestly didn't really change our sex life at all.
Wow.
We kind of went right back to normal.
And you didn't have any like loss of libido or anything like that?
I was so horny during my pregnancy.
Yeah.
That I think I went down to a normal level.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't like constantly like intense like desire. Like
let's do it right this second.
Like right now.
Excellent.
I was like that like the whole pregnancy.
Wow, I'm really happy for you guys.
Thank you.
That's amazing. That's wonderful.
Okay, so I'm dying to know because I always thought that would be so gnarly. Like you just pushed out this baby. You said you felt
like everything was pushing down.
What did you say? Like a gaping hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was only for like a day, the gaping hole thing.
Okay. Well, that's good.
But I did feel like a lot of like pressure. Like everything was trying to escape through my vaginal canal. Mm-hmm. But so I waited the full 6 weeks before any sort of sex.
You should.
I did have in the beginning really warm, loving feelings toward my husband because we just had a newborn and I'm staring at the newborn and so in love, and I'm staring at my husband with the newborn so in love, and it's like, this miraculous thing, and every now and then it just kind of struck me how in awe I was of this situation. Mm-hmm. And when I had those overwhelming feelings of like joy and love, I had like moments where I wanted to really ravage him, but my body was not going to let me do any of that.
That's fair.
Like my boobs were leaking and engorged. They were very drippy, drippy, like always.
No,
and so that's not sexy.
I definitely squirted Casey.
Ew. Did it turn into a thing? It was like a baby?
No.
Okay, because that's a thing, Liz. So that's a thing for some people.
No, it was just, oxytocin is the same thing you get when you have an orgasm. And it's also the same thing that causes a letdown. So,
so you have an orgasm and then you would go squirt from the boobies.
Sorry, I took it away from your story.
Did you?
So keep
what was
going.
I talking about?
You felt loving feelings, but your body was like, no way.
Yeah, so we'd have like deep, tender, passionate kisses, but it wasn't until I got the all clear that I was even like, do you want to try?
Totally.
I had no desire for an orgasm because I still just felt sort of like icky and just not really sexy and like sort of disfigured. But what I did have was desire for closeness. And so I asked him if he wanted to have sex. And he's such a great guy that like, obviously it's been 6-8 weeks now. And he's like, probably super horny. But he was like, honestly, like whatever you are comfortable with.
That's the right and only answer.
Yeah, yes. And so the first time that we tried to have sex postpartum, it hurt. Like he started to enter me. I was like, how do I say this in a classy way? And it hurt, like really hurt to the point where I'm like, did I get like a stitch that I didn't know about? Have you heard of this? I don't know if this happened, but some doctors will put in an extra stitch to like close it up just a little bit more. And it's disgustingly referred to as the daddy stitch. Have you heard of that?
Oh, I have a little bit vaguely.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's what it was, but it hurt. And I was like, ow, 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 nope. And he was like, oh, okay. And it took another like maybe 3 weeks or so before I felt comfortable. And then we went really slow. And
did you use lube?
No, I didn't have any issues with lubrication.
Did you know your hormones kind of emulate the hormones that you get during menopause?
Oh.
And so that's
I didn't
why
know that.
Yeah.
Oh, so you can have vaginal dryness.
Yes. And so lube is really helpful because obviously the more lube, the less it hurts.
So now I'm wondering if maybe I was just like, falsely accusing my doctor in my mind, and really it was just vaginal dryness and I needed to get some KY or something.
It might be that. And honestly, like listening to you talking about all the things that your body was like feeling uncomfortable, I felt all those things too. I felt disfigured. I felt, and yet I pushed through to try to keep the relationship, and I didn't need to.
Oh, so it was a fear.
It was a little bit.
You wanted some normalcy, at least in terms of your relationship.
Mm-hmm. Oh. And I was a little freaked out of losing that part of our relationship.
Right, yeah. Because it's such a big change when baby comes.
I really think I pushed my body.
Right.
So if I was telling a friend, I say, trust your body, trust your libido, take your time.
Take your time,
Because you don't, it doesn't feel sexy at first.
It doesn't. Yeah. And if I'm being honest, I guess I was a little bit afraid of losing that sort of spark too, because he put it on me and was like, whatever you want to do, it's totally fine. And I was like, well, I mean, we could at least try it.
Totally.
But I didn't want to do it at all. I didn't feel good.
Right.
My body didn't feel good, but like I was given the green light. So it was sort of like, well, I guess we should try.
Right. And if I was telling a friend, I'd say, wait till you want to again.
Yeah, exactly. Wait till you want to.
Oh, I didn't even talk about all the blood.
Oh my God. Yeah. There is a lot of blood. So did you have sex even though there was a lot of blood?
No. Although, oh my God.
What?
I hate how much I'm oversharing. Before the blood was gone, I definitely performed some Felicia.
Did you say Felicia? We'll just say it's Felicia. We'll just call it
No,
that.
it's not Felicia. It's
I know what it is, Liz. We all know what it is. Wow, that's nice of you.
I know.
I did not do that.
I know. But like, I shouldn't have. You know what I mean? Like, I just was trying, like, the more I'm reflecting on this, the more I'm like, oh, baby girl.
Aww.
I did not have to do that.
Aw, sweet little Liz. You were like, I'm still banging. I'm going to spin on that.
Oh my God.
I'll bleep that out. Don't worry.
Okay.
All
right. So
blood.
Blood.
Yeah. So because you broke the rule, was it still?
No, it had subsided.
It had stopped.
And that's why I kind of thought it was okay, even though, to be honest, I didn't know that rule at the time.
That seems okay. Hold on. Whoa. I'm gonna call bullshit.
I don't think I did.
Miss Liz, who read all the books, Miss Liz, who studied up for 9 and went to a 20-week natural birthing class.
Yeah, but I also didn't know about engorgement. So like,
when you went to your 6-week postpartum appointment, were you surprised when he was like,
no, actually.
Yeah, so you knew. Nice try, buddy. Nice try. Okay, so you're a complete rebel.
Gosh.
Yeah, I had stopped bleeding too, so that wasn't a concern either. But if you are somebody who is bleeding for that long, like that's,
I think that's a sign that you shouldn't have sex.
I agree. If you are not feeling it.
I mean, not that so much TMI. Like we're always down even if I'm on my period. That's not like a big deal.
Okay, so that changed for me at some point. I don't know what point, but all of a sudden it was like, I don't wanna.
Yeah.
I'm on my period. And I used to do a lot of Felicia during period week.
I'm so beaten.
And he recently tried that. I was on a period and it was like, oh, you're on your period. Well, you know what that means. And I was like,
no.
Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Like, that was a different bitch.
That's really funny.
I mean, I will, but like, woo me a bit.
Right.
So that's what's changed. I'm a little bit harder to get into the sack these days.
That's okay.
Yeah, it is okay.
Timing. Like,
it's timing. It's being exhausted.
Yeah, I was going to say both of us not being exhausted at the same time is very rare.
Yeah, it is rare.
Because even when I'm like, hey, babe, he's sometimes like, I am so tired.
Yeah, see? It happens. That happens sometimes. Did you have those really hard moments when your first was a newborn where you didn't align with your husband on choices or you felt somehow annoyed with him?
100,000 million%.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Of course.
All right.
Of
Because
course.
I had moments when I was like, you need to shut your fucking face right now. In feeling.
Right.
In feeling,
right.
Liz. I, of course, took deep breaths and said it more politely than that. But, not every time.
Mm-hmm.
But truly, I was in newborn mom mode and figuring this baby out and figuring myself out and figuring this life out. And my child wasn't sleeping. And he was probably feeling a lot of feelings because of all of this same stuff. But I didn't fucking care. I was like, you need to stop.
Right.
So that kind of takes a toll on your relationship, especially if you don't have a wonderful foundation of a relationship where you can be like, fuck you. I'm sorry I just said fuck you. But what I really mean is I need you to stop doing that, please. Jesus Christ. I still love you, but shut the fuck up.
I feel like you have a secret camera in my house. It's like the exact things that I say. I'll be like, fuck you. I'm sorry I said fuck you, but seriously, Jesus Christ. No, obviously. I mean, we are a human couple.
Of course. Yeah.
So, of course, we fight. We fight pretty civilly. I am very quick at recognizing that I've done something wrong.
That's good.
He's not that good at that.
We all have our strengths.
But it's like a thing. It's, there are moments all the time, especially like in the beginning, you just get so possessive of the baby and you're like,
yes, you do.
Why are you holding him that way? Like, what's wrong with you?
It's a stressful time.
And I'm always like, be yourself, say how you feel. In this moment, I don't think you should. Like, I think that this is like take a breath. Try not to criticize your partner. Yeah. I became such a control freak, even more than I normally am, when it came to care for our baby and those like little hormonal triggers of like, oh my fucking God, like, how are you doing it that way? Definitely were intense, but I was able to reflect normally, quickly enough before it came out of my mouth and go, you know what? It's not that bad.
That's really big of you.
Some of the time.
Okay. Okay, good.
But that is a thing that I actively work on because I do know that the way he's doing it is wonderful and just fine. And I need to let it go.
And also, baby needs Dada to do it his way.
Totally. I still, to this day, I walk out of the room when they like wrestle and snuggle. I'm like, no.
Can't watch
Stop it. I can't. I'm gonna walk away. You're gonna break the baby. Still to this day.
I had one time that was really, really visceral when the baby was like 4 weeks and he didn't have colic or anything, but we just didn't know what we were doing. So he would just kind of scream at us. Mm-hmm. So I was holding the baby and he was crying and I didn't know what to do. And John came and took him from me and said, you know what? I think he needs this. And like grabbed him and put him on his own chest and like started doing exactly what I was doing. And I said, give me the baby back.
Yeah.
In like this guttural, like Batman voice. And he was like, what? And I was like, I am the mother.
Yeah. No.
Poor guy. And then he got mad and he was like, I'm not saying you don't know how to do it. The baby's crying and I'm trying to help. So like we were just like at each other's throats because it's an intense time.
Totally.
So there were a lot of times when I was like, I fucking hate you. I don't hate you. I love you. I know that consciously, but I kind of hate you. So that makes it hard to be intimate.
Totally.
And it makes it's a conscious choice that you have to make to trust this person, to trust that this person has the same level of interest in the baby's well-being that you have, even if they do it in a different way.
Which is why date night is so important.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to get a date night in when you've got a newborn, but...
Yeah. No, the first part is hard. And honestly, like, before I had the baby, my friend Nikki, who I freaking love, she'd go, evoke the 2-hour no-talking rule.
Oh.
And I was like...
What's the 2-hour no-talking rule?
She's like, you're going to be so freaking tired. You're going to be so freaking hormonal. You'll want to kill him.
Oh.
So just don't say anything.
Oh, good
just don't
advice.
Talk. Like, no one's allowed to talk for 2 hours.
Yeah, I was going to ask. So this is a rule for everyone. It's a 2-hour no-talking rule?
2-hour no-talk rule. Nobody talks.
That would help.
When that moment arrived where I was like, and you want to, like, get into it and, like,
yeah, you really
no,
do.
We need to talk through and then it's like, no, we don't.
No.
You're tired. I'm tired. We are stressed. We are depleted.
Nothing good is going to come of that conversation when you're that sleep deprived.
This is not a moment where we can communicate.
Exactly.
This isn't our communication moment.
Not at all.
So everybody stop talking.
That's really, really smart.
Nikki's the best.
Good advice, Nikki. So did your sex life go on as normal like you thought it was going to? Or like you hoped it was going to?
Yeah.
It did? You just like had a newborn and you were just banging it out?
No.
Okay.
No, but I would say 6 months you start to feel like your body's yours again a little bit.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And then a year. So yeah, I feel like you just naturally do kind of fall into your
okay.
practice.
So I guess I'm wondering when you got back to a sense of normalcy, in your intimate relationship. Was it right at that 2 weeks or 4 weeks or whenever it was that you jumped in the sack, or was it?
No.
Okay, so you calmed down a little bit after that initial rush to get it in.
Yeah, no, I mean, it certainly wasn't a concern. I felt like we kind of hit our new rhythm pretty well after maybe 3 months.
I was going to say 3 months. For us, it was about 3 months.
Oh, really?
And the baby still wasn't sleeping.
Right.
And there was just one night when, even though we were so sleep deprived, and maybe even because we were so sleep deprived, you're in that sort of loopy, sleep deprived feeling. It's almost kind of drunk or something. And it just was sort of consuming. And it was so welcome. And it was like a complete expression of love and everything we've been through over the past couple of months.
That resonates so much for me. I think that it's good sex is healing.
Yeah.
Really, I feel like that is when things kind of start going back to normal, is after you have really good sex. But to have really good sex, you have to feel good about yourself. And that takes a while.
And about your partner, you have to feel supported. You have to feel content. You can't be at odds. You can't be mad at each other. You're working toward the same end with the baby. That's what it was for us, at least. We had those tough moments where we got mad at each other, and we had talks, and we made sure to get on the same page. And that's what brought it back.
Yeah. I also personally, for me, I felt like it really helped with all the hormones when I was
oh, that's interesting.
New to motherhood. It was the calmest I would feel. It was the most clear-eyed I would feel. I just felt really good and really empowered.
That makes sense.
I just was always very uplifted by sex in the beginning, postpartum.
Yeah.
It just always really revived me.
I think, again, it goes back to because you're feeling supported. If you truly want the same thing, then it is sort of like a knitting, a solidifying of that partnership.
I do have to say, though, it's kind of gnarly, knowing what it means to have sex now and then to have sex again is kind of terrifying.
Do you mean because it makes a baby?
Yes.
That's
processing
true.
that, I definitely was actually, to be honest, I didn't think about it enough when we got pregnant so fast.
That's why it's so gnarly to you now, because you got pregnant so fast.
I was oh.
So now you're oh yeah, there are consequences to this.
So I'm curious, what did you do to not get pregnant again?
We do condoms.
Oh. Still?
Yes, right now even we're doing condoms. I don't want to go on the pill because I've had hormonal birth control before, and I just don't like the feeling of it. And again, this goes back to my mental health. My mental health is the most important thing in my life. I'm not going to risk going on hormonal birth control. That throws off my sense of well-being.
Your rhythm.
Right.
What about an IUD?
Yeah, so that's inserted in my body. I had 2 babies. He can handle a condom. Is how I feel about it.
We tried condoms and we hated them.
Okay.
So I went on an IUD and I like it.
Oh, that's good.
So Shauna.
Yeah.
What do you wish you had known about post-baby sex? Or relationships? Both.
Yeah, or relationships.
Either.
I wish I would have known that you're gonna hate your husband. That's a common thing that happens. It's a lot of emotion and a lot of change all at once. And it's difficult to deal with. And basically cut the guy a little bit of slack, cut myself a little bit of slack. It all feels really big and hard in the moment. But looking back on it, it's comical, and none of it was really that big of a deal. It just felt like a big deal because it was a lot all at once.
That makes sense.
Yeah. What do you wish you would have known?
After this conversation, because every time we have a conversation, I learn so much.
Me too.
I wish I would have known that we were going to be fine.
Yeah.
And that I am allowed and should listen to my body and honor my libido.
Totally.
And I can and should only have sex when I want to.
Yeah.
Looking back, I'm like, gosh, I didn't have to do that. We would have been totally fine, and I would have felt better about sex probably sooner.
Yeah.
Had I listened to my body and my own desires.
I think you and I are really fortunate because we have such respectful husbands, and I am supremely aware that this is not always the case.
I know.
Liz, we have come to my favorite part of the show. Do you have a favorite word or phrase regarding postpartum sex and relationship?
Spooge.
What? What is that?
Spooge is sperm. It's the spooge that comes out of the penis that makes the baby.
Okay, so I've always heard it.
Okay, so how's it?
Splooge with an L.
Spooge. Really?
It's spooge with no L?
So this is like a thing with my husband.
That's an actual word. I just looked it up. It's in the dictionary.
Is it spooge or splooge?
It's spooge. Splooge is slang, but spooge is an actual term for semen.
Spooge.
Wow, good for you.
Spooge.
I like it. Excellent.
Shauna, do you have a word or a phrase pertaining to sex or relationships that you would like to share?
Yes, the word or phrase is tight episiotomy.
That's the daddy stitch.
Tight episiotomy. That's the daddy stitch.
Does it hurt the girl?
So it hurt me. I don't know if I got one. I don't know. I don't know.
Or you were dry.
I don't think I was dry, but I don't know why it would have hurt so much.
Right. No, maybe you got it.
You know, everything is scraping and stuff.
Ouch.
You know, so if you get a tear, or an episiotomy, which is where they cut you so that the baby's head can come, they cut your perineum. Yeah. So then they stitch you back up. A tight episiotomy is when they stitch you back up a little bit tighter than it was before birth. The doctor can see where the tear is, where the healthy tissue, the non-torn tissue is, and they can see where the tear starts. They can see it because they're a doctor and they see this stuff all the time.
Oh.
So it's when they stitch you a little tighter onto the non-torn part. Sometimes there have been reports in the media of doctors doing it without telling you, and they'll just stitch you up a little bit tighter.
Okay, if you are listening to this and you had a daddy stitch, can you please comment?
Yes.
Tell us if it hurts more.
Okay.
Because I'm
genuinely
like, is this
curious.
woman abuse? Like, or is this okay? Like, that sounds horrible.
I don't think it's okay. I don't think it'll feel good.
I feel like we're maiming women.
Yeah, it seems like it would maim.
Ow. I don't want it.
Get out of here with the stitches.
Ouch.
A tight episiotomy. And with that, she is Liz.
And she's Shauna. Thank you so much for joining us on our fun little talk all about sex and relationships and spooge and daddy stitches
and hating your husband.
Hating your husband. Doing the nasty.
The good stuff. It has been a fun talk.
Yeah, this is like, I've never had this conversation with another woman, really.
Me neither.
Or man. Like,
yes, good point. If you are not following Liz on social media yet, do so. She's at Liz Swinson BFF, and her book is amazing. You Got This, Mama. Treat yourself or a pregnant friend. You won't regret it.
Thank you so much. And if you are not following Shauna the Mom at Shauna the Mom on all social media platforms, you need to.
Thanks, Liz.
She's hilarious and she makes me laugh all the time.
Again, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.